Good morning, good morning. It's your boy Chili Chill. Thanks for joining me for another tutorial video or something like that. At least some knowledge for you guys to soak in. Big shout out to my subscribers and viewers. I want to give you guys a big thank you. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Maybe watch a few videos. Maybe. Why not? Alright guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to catch surf stripers with the Bucktail jig. I'm going to show you when to use bucktails and how to retrieve bucktails and some things that you can do to enhance your bucktail jig. For my gear selection today, I got my Shimano Ocea plugger light concept. This is my 8'3" medium light. I believe this is a fast action. It's paired with my Shimano Vanquish C4000 XG. This has 30-pound Power Pro Super Slick on it, and that's going down to a 25-pound Seaguar gold fluorocarbon leader tied with an FG knot. I always use a leader in the surf because the waves and the sand is like sandpaper and it'll fray your braid out, so always use a leader when you're surf fishing. For my bait today, I'm throwing an SPRO. This is not a regular bucktail. This one is called Power Bucktail. It has 3 times more hair and a more heavier duty hook. And then I got a trailer on there. This is a Mr. Twister tail, 6" in yellow. And I got this tied to a dual clip right here. So the first thing you can do to enhance your bucktail jig is to add a teaser trailer to it, like a curly tail. You can even put a paddle tail on there, or like the East Coast guys, they like to use pork skin strips, like Uncle Josh's pork rind strips. Really popular on that side. When you do put a trailer on, sometimes these power bucktails, the bucktail goes way out here. So as you can see, I kind of trimmed it down. So what you want is you want to have at least about 3 to 4 inches of your teaser out. So if your bucktail is too long, go ahead and trim that hair a little bit, okay? When you add a teaser to your bucktail jig, it gives it more vibration and constant action no matter how you retrieve it. So I like to always use a teaser trailer when I'm using a bucktail jig. The conditions today are very calm, very nice. No wind at all. And the wave energy is super low. It's like really calm, which I kind of don't like. I like a little bit more wave energy when I'm striper fishing in the surf. I feel like when the waves are too calm like this, there's not a lot of fish in that first trough. But we'll see. Let's go ahead and get a first cast out there. And make sure you time your cast behind the wave. That way you have the optimal time to retrieve. Right now is the incoming tide. Got about 1.5 hours until it's slack tide. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Also want to give a shout out to the East Coast guys, not only for the striped bass that they gave us, but for the bucktail jig. I believe 2 brothers, if I remember correctly, 2 brothers from New Jersey created the modern style, what we know now as the bucktail jig, back in like the 1930s or 1940s. Although there was different variations of this kind of lure before them, they were the first ones to use bucktail hair from their deer hunts and to mass produce it and to make a business out of it. Another interesting fact about bucktail jigs, back in World War II, a bucktail jig came standard in every survival kit for every pilot and sailor in the US Navy. That's how the bucktail jig got so popular worldwide. Now there's 2 ways that you should retrieve a bucktail jig, depending on if you have a trailer or no trailer. Now if you are using a trailer like this, all you really have to do is cast it out, let it hit bottom, and then just retrieve it in slowly and let this tail do all the work for you. Just retrieve it in nice and slow right off the bottom. But imagine if you're not using a trailer or a teaser, all you got is this hair. So you can imagine if you threw this in the water, right, and you're retrieving it, this hair is going to go all down like this. So it doesn't really create a lot of action. So if you're not using a trailer or a teaser, then what I recommend doing on your retrieve is letting this sink to the bottom, give it a jig up, and then reel it in a little bit, then let it hit bottom again, let it jig up, and then reel it in, let it hit bottom again. And what that does is, every time you jig it, this hair is going to open up in the water. And then when you retrieve it, it's going to close. And then when you jig it, it's going to open. So that's going to be a good way to attract bass when you're using a bucktail jig without a trailer, okay? So if you're using a teaser or trailer, all you want to do is let it hit bottom and just retrieve it in nice and slow. Slow as possible. Slow as you can get it. And let the tail or the paddle tail do all the work for you. And if you're not using a trailer teaser, then what you want to do is let it hit bottom, jig it up, reel, let it sink, hit bottom, jig it up, reel it, let it sink, hit bottom, just like that, okay? That's going to create your open and close on the hair flutter. Now if you're using a trailer teaser, you can always do the same thing though and jig it and give it some more attention, so works either way. But if you're not using a trailer teaser, you do have to kind of jig it up and down and reel, stop, and try to give the bucktail a little bit more action. Yeah, the waves are real calm today, but there's a lot of garbage in the water too. Like everywhere I look on the shore or on the beach, there's a lot of seaweed. So I am fishing right next to a rip current right here though, but there's a lot of seaweed in the water today. The key to using a bucktail jig though is to let it sink. I know with all this, I know it seems like it'll just sink like a rock, but with all this hair and with the trailer teaser, it actually takes a few for the lure to get down. So you want to give the lure a few seconds to go ahead and sink down to the bottom before you start retrieving. You just want to retrieve it right off the bottom, slow as you can go when you got a trailer teaser. If you're not using the trailer, you gotta jig it up, stop, reel, jig it up, stop, reel. But you can also do that with the trailer teaser too though. And when you come up to the beach and the wave intervals are very short and the wave energy is very strong, it's very hard to fish a jerkbait. Like you can cast it out there in between the waves, but if you do get it to swim, it'll only swim for a little bit. So that's when you want to use a bucktail jig. You want to use bucktail jigs when the wave energy is strong, or if the wave intervals are very short. You want to go ahead and throw a bucktail jig on there. That is the best time to use a bucktail jig. You can also use bucktail jigs to get a little bit more distance, since they do cast a little bit further than jerkbaits. Then another thing that you can do to enhance your bucktail jig, if you're into using scents, is to smear a little bit of scent right here. Just smear it in there, and it actually holds scent really well. Just remember with bucktail jigs, let them sink and work them slow if you got a trailer, or give it a pop or two and a jig when you're not using a trailer. So far I've been out here about an hour now. No bites, no nibbles. There's a lot of people fishing on the beach today too. I see at least like 10 different anglers, but nobody has caught anything. And I suspect that has something to do with this wave energy. This is so weak today. I didn't even check the report, but this is definitely maybe 150, maybe less than that. But yeah, this isn't ideal for me for striped bass fishing. I like to hit it when there's a little bit more rougher conditions. I don't know, I just feel like it stirs up more sand crabs and confuses more anchovies. So I think the stripers come in when the surf is a little bit rougher. And then that's pretty much it when it comes to using bucktail jigs. Bucktail jigs are so versatile. You could use them in the surf, you could use them in the bays, you could use them in the delta, in the rivers. You could use them off of piers, off of jetties, off the shore. They just plain old work. So I always keep a bucktail jig in my tackle box no matter where I go, because you know, sometimes the good old simple bucktail jig will outwork everything else. But anyways, since we got some of that out the way, let's go ahead and try to catch a striped bass. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It just seems a little too calm. Seems like there's just no fish in here. I don't see anybody else catching. I don't see any kind of bait activity or bird activity. I think it's just a little too calm today. I'm getting some good retrieves in, but there's no fish. Sometimes there's just no fish. Man, you would think with calm conditions like this, and getting good retrievals, you would think there'd be a bunch of fish in here, I swear. But that's how the surf is, you know. Sometimes the fish are just right down the beach, or they're at another beach where maybe it's a little rougher. But let's keep trying. I don't know, I still have hope though. I can feel it. I just got a feeling. I just got a feeling I'm gonna catch a fish today. Hopefully. Alright guys, it's been about 2 hours now. Still no bites, no nibbles. And a lot of the anglers that were here, seems like they all quit and gave up and went home. But not me. I'm gonna keep trying and keep trying until I get a fish, y'all. Or at least until I feel like that feeling of catching a fish goes away. You guys know what I'm talking about. You just get that feeling. I still have that feeling. I still have hope. We're gonna give this another 30 minutes, maybe an hour. There is a seal out there I just saw, so that's always a good sign. Alright guys, we're hitting about 3 hours now. Tide has turned, now it's the outgoing. Tide's starting to go out. Still no bites. Seen a bunch of anglers leave empty-handed. So I guess today is just not a fishy day at this beach. Wonder if anybody else is having any luck on any other beach today, but yeah, I think the waves are pretty strong right on the shore, but out there they're not really doing anything. I'm not really sure what's going on with the fishing today, but I'm still gonna try because I still have that feeling. I am losing it a little bit, but let's keep on going. Come on, you darn stripers. How the heck are you guys not out there today? All right, you guys, this is hour number 4. I've been out here for 4 hours casting my arm off, and I got one little bite. I'm pretty sure it was a bite, but the fish didn't get pinned, so I don't know what it was. I didn't see any other fish come out, so today's not that great of a fishing day. I know I didn't catch a fish for y'all today, so this is another skunk video, but there's still a lot of useful tips in this video for you guys to use. you guys are planning to use the bucktail jig in the surf or in the bays. I want to thank you guys for watching another video and tuning in. If you guys have any kind of questions or any kind of better tips, go ahead and leave a comment below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.